Securing the Saltery. Nanamo is ready to move ahead with her plans. Our course is decided. I shall return to the palace and have my ministers begin work on implementing the particulars of the plan. If I could prevail upon you one more time, Lavenza, I would ask that you convey the details of our negotiations to Commander Hex on your return to Alamigo. My thanks again. Together we have laid the groundwork for an endeavor which promises to benefit the peoples of Alamigo and Ul'dah both. I was just thinking, it's again another great thing about the MSQ. I mean, it's basically just including a story at all in an MMO, or a long-lasting one is character development. And again, you know, people have criticisms about Lisa's character development, but still, there's character development, and it's cool that, like, now she's, yeah, Commander Hexed, and it's, you know, she's, you know, the leader of... are they still the Resistance, or what would they be called now? I wonder. You need not accompany me back to the palace. I will have Papashan arrange an escort. That is, if he hasn't already organized a search party. I've been absent for rather longer than intended. But I mean, it's cool to have characters, you know, in its simplest way to describe it, kind of start in one place and be in another later in the story. Welcome back, Lavenza. How was your audience with the Sultana? Profitable. In your absence, I have kept myself busy cataloging the riches of the Mad King's Trove and calculating its worth in gil. I have some way to go, but the figure is already quite staggering. Oh, Whiskar. Oh, yeah. He was out in... he was the dude we first met in Alagana, and he was with us out in the Saltery and helped us get into Alamigo or whatever. Oh, greetings, Lavenza. I'm actually in the middle of reporting to the commander here, so... Well, I'm about to cut in. Lavenza, you're back. What did Nanamo... Oh, sorry. Are you allowed to talk about your audience with the Sultana? As a matter of fact... So, Raoban says he's going to return to Ul'dah, but she isn't sure he wants to. Tell us something we don't know, but I'm pleased to hear she's committed to helping our refugees come home. And this plan to revitalize the Saltery does make a lot of sense. Quite how you convinced her to seek Lolorito's help is another question. After all that has happened, he is the very last person I would expect her to turn to for advice. But on a more practical note, Lise, assuming the interim government elects to accept Ul'dah's proposal, I have one caveat I should like you to include in the bargain. Alamigo must be permitted to cover a portion of the investment. We have a fortune at our disposal, after all, and allowing Ul'dah to provide the entirety of the capital will afford Lolorito too much control. Honestly, Alphino, it's like Kugane never happened. What exactly does a ruthless profiteer have to do to earn your trust? I mean, he's of the right mind, though. But yes, you do make a good point. First things first, though, we need to discuss this proposal with the Saltery's residents. Whisker, how do you fancy explaining the Sultana's plan to your grandfather? I'd like to hear what Watt thinks of the idea before agreeing to anything. Right away, Commander. Would you mind coming along, Lavenza? I might need you to fill in the details. So, is Lise not just like the head of whatever has become of the resistance, but the head of all Amigo? Because she is the one, that's set up the meeting for everybody there, for everybody in Garabanya. I just kind of figured Raoul Bon was the one that's kind of the interim head of everything, just because of who he is. But I guess it is actually Lise. Then I shall come as well. Should Watt wish to discuss figures, my knowledge of the nation's finances may prove useful. Again, you might want to get somebody more local, to be knowledgeable about the finances. I'm leaving the business of dividing up the treasure to those who know about such things. I'm not proud to admit it, but every time I see a column of numbers, my eyes glaze over. One of these days, I'll have to ask Alphino to explain it all to me. I was going to say, maybe he'll be the one, but given the events of Shadowbringers. But then again, given the events of Shadowbringers. I'll have to give Nanamo my thanks next time we meet. With this and everything else that's been happening, it really feels like things are gathering pace around here. I was just thinking, I wonder if I've ever actually taken the gates in and out of All Amigo, because, I mean, definitely by this time, because we're in patch content, I would have had flying. Okay, it's just like, is this all the way back there? It may have been shorter to actually teleport, but oh well, we're getting the scenic route. For however scenic it may be. Ideally, one would want All Amigo's stake to match Uldah's gill for gill, in combination with a cast iron contract that should serve to prevent Lolorito from making off with all of the profits. Let's go and see Granddad. He's going to want to hear this. Well, I mean, he's standing right in front of us, dude. What manner of mischief brings you youngins to old Watt this time, huh? They want to rebuild the Saltery, Granddad. Lavenza told him about the deal, or tell him about the deal. Well, bugger me. We've never had the coin or the hands to put the place back to how it was, but it sounds like that's about to change. There's just one small wrinkle in your plan. It doesn't account for all the nasties queuing up to eat anyone who goes near the shore. The king used to send soldiers to cull the buggers, but the Imperials weren't about to help the likes of us. Don't worry, Granddad. We'll take care of all that. Commander Hex has been talking about starting up regular patrols, and I'm sure she'd assign me to the lock if I asked. I'd appreciate that, Whiskard, my lad. Truly I would. So, does this mean you've gotten better with that blade of yours? I've been training, but mostly to kill Imperials. We've some experience hunting monsters. You've some experience hunting monsters, don't you, Lavenza? Think you can cast an eye over a few of the local beasties and teach me how to deal with them? Let's not waste any time then. I'll see you by the lock. Well, so you are busy attending to the local fauna. I shall have Master Watt explain to me exactly what is required to restore the Saltery to its former glory. Good hunting. It does my heart good to see you youngsters like my grandson giving their all to rebuild the country. Feels like anything's possible. Needless to say, I shall impress upon our friend here the singular importance of securing a fair contract with his Ulden benefactors. I don't know, it's funny, you know, what was it, Lise? You know, bringing up Alphino's mistrust of Lolorito, but at the same time, it is warranted. I think it is prudent to make sure, you know, Lolorito doesn't, you know, cut off more than he is deserved. Right then, Lavenza, I've got a spyglass here you can use to take a closer look at these pests. Once you've got their measure, you can tell me what to do, and we'll see how well I get on. Search your surroundings for yabbies. You may move the camera as well as zoom in, target a yabby, inspect it. That's not a yabby? No, it has to be a yabby. Just usually, isn't there like an indicator? Like the crosshair lights up, but I guess not. Okay. Is there something further out I'm not getting, or... It was something here. I saw something light up for a second here, and then it's gone. Yeah, I have to observe it to determine its vulnerability, so I have to find, I guess, where it's vulnerable. Okay, hello. Am I just missing something, or... There we go. That was annoying. The Yabby's entire body is protected by a hard carapace, but the underside of the head looks soft and vulnerable. Ah, looks like you found a Yabby. They say hitting their shells like smacking a rock. Any suggestions? Aim for the soft underside of the head. Just hit it as hard as you can. Vulnerable under the head, are they? Right then. Wish me luck. That took a while. I was like, did I disconnect? But it didn't look like it. Thanks, Lavenza. I did just as you told me, and the wavekin went down like a sack of papados. Let's find something else. I think I can handle the yabbies now, so we should try something different. What else is out there? For a phobeds. Phobeds? I take it it's that, and I have to find the weak point. The eye. At least this one was easier to find. The phobed's hands are large and powerful, but destroying its crystallized core should render the salt golem inanimate. You sense power pulsating from behind its brow. Ugh, a phobed. How do I defeat one of those? Destroy the core within its brow. Just hit it really, really hard. As hard as you can. Inside its head, is it? I'll try to stab it right between the eyes then. Now, is this one going to go fast? Okay. I wonder what was up with that. It must have just been like a lag spike or whatever. It's not easy fighting with the liberator of all Amigo watching your every move, but I got the job done. Thanks for the advice, Lavenza. I feel a lot better prepared for my patrols now. Any road. We should head back to the Saltery before Granddad starts to worry I've been snipped into pieces and fed to a Yabby's hatchlings. That's interesting. Some people in my free company like just started talking about lag. And how to deal with it. So I wonder if, you know, maybe not everybody, but multiple people were hit with lag. Let's hurry up and tell Granddad how the hunt went. It'll set his mind at ease. For the merchants of Ul'dah, a well-constructed contract is both sword and shield, and Watt must understand this if we are to meet them on an even field. Speaking of battles, does Whisker seem equal to the task of thinning the Loch's monster population? He certainly seemed eager enough. Oh yeah, but I mean, it's not going to be just him, right? I guess just now he'll train other people. I see you've returned in one piece. Dealt with those beasties then, did you? Aye. Fought them myself after a bit of instruction from Lavenza here, like. Once I've shared what I've learned with the others, we should have no trouble keeping the shoreline clear. Good lad. A fine young man you've become, Whisker. A fine young man indeed. See, now I just was questioning, or a question in my mind is, I mean, if we've learned anything, is how bad it can be to just wipe out you know, animals in clearing an area or whatever, and that, you know, they should be encouraged to leave. But granted, that can also cause problems too. I'm just saying, maybe conservation should also be a thought, and not just wiping everything out. Too often of late, I hear tales of folk over in the city, drunk on victory and hungry for revenge, their heads stuck firmly in the past. But we need to set our sights on the future, on things which will improve our lot. Things like getting the Saltery ready to welcome our long-lost countrymen. It'll be nice to have some resistance lads and lasses around to watch over us. No one wants to worry about being dragged into the lock while they're just trying to get an honest day's work done. Grandad and his friends are already hard at work. The rest of us can do no less, huh? A blissful arrival. Alphino seems satisfied that he and Watt are of one mind. I wonder, I mean, a blissful arrival makes me think of Lakshmi and, of course, the Ananta. So I wonder if this is going to be leading into the meeting. It seems Whisker has the Saltery's security well in hand. I, meanwhile, have discussed the next steps with Master Watt and completed my inspection of the site. With a little work, the vacant buildings here could be made into very presentable dwellings. Message from General Aldin. Apologies for the interruption, miss, but the General would speak with you at your earliest convenience. Do not feel obliged to wait around on my account. I will remain here to hammer out the finer details with Watt and act as an intermediary with our business partners in Ul'dah. You should go. General Aldin asks that you wait for him by the main gate in the Alamegan quarter. My apologies again, miss. Fare you well. That Alphino's a bright lad, isn't he? I told him what we'd need to repair the place, and he tallied up the total cost on the spot. And it weren't a small number either. Pray leave the administrative task to me. General Aldin will be waiting. I know at some point Nanamo does actually come out to the Saltery, but that might actually be a side quest. But for a second there, I was thinking, or maybe this blissful arrival is her coming out, but that seems a bit quick.
Apologies for the wait. People are screaming for the butcher's blood again. No sooner have we broken up one mob than another forms. Thankfully, all have been amenable to reason, thus far. But it is no concern of yours. We must speak of the men Arenvald and his comrades apprehended in the peaks.
By their uniforms, the captives were first judged to be Imperial troops, but after further investigation, their true identities came to light. I dare say you remember Yuyuhasi and Laurentius, the fugitives who conspired with Captain Ilberd in the Crystal Brave's betrayal. Aye, well, it would seem they followed him all the way to the wall. It was they who orchestrated the slaughter of the resistance fighters prior to the Griffin's infernal ritual.
Were it in your hands, how would you punish these men?
So, I mean, did we know about Arenvald? We ran into Yuyuhase, didn't we? God, that all sounds like... But if it did happen, like, why did I already forget? Huh. Anyway, their lives would be forfeit. Execution is not the answer. Yeah, I don't know. That's a tough one. I mean, Lord knows I would love to, punt Yu Yu Hase. But I don't know. I don't think my character would just execute somebody just to execute them. It's like in battle, but outside of that, if they, I mean, if you are in battle with them and they give themselves up, I mean, at the very least, a trial. So I'm going to go with execution's not the answer.
You would spare these animals? Yours is a more merciful brand of justice than mine. In any event, I thank you for your honesty. When the time comes for the Alliance to pass judgment, I'll see that your opinion is heard. Well, that concludes our business here. But there is more I would say. Walk with me.
It's funny though. I play a Dark Knight, but I mean, I've all the stuff with Sidurgu has proven that my character isn't like he is.
I bear a share of the blame for Ilberd's atrocities. Had I openly supported the cause of Alamegan liberation, he might not have felt driven to do what he did. Things could have been different, and I'm sorry they aren't. But even after all that has happened, my homeland is free. With the Scions and the Alliance at their side, my countrymen have reclaimed what many thought lost forever. Under her new leadership, I have every confidence that Alamigo will emerge from the shadow of the Empire and rise once more to greatness. Which means my work here is done. Soon I will return to Uldar and take my place at the Sultana's side.
Father...
I'll not deny there's a part of me that wants to stay. The same part that contemplated renouncing my rank and joining you as a wandering sellsword. But I pledged my blade to Nanamo, and I will not betray that oath.
Is this truly what you want, Father?
It is. Ever has my sword been hers to command, and ever shall it remain.
So it's going to take her saying, no, go back to Alamigo, or stay in Alamigo.
Thank you for lending an ear. When all the rest are clamoring for me to stay, I trust you'll send me on my way.
I know it's an interesting. His last line is kind of interesting. It's with everything that's been going on. you know, just the quests we've done, the people we've talked to, it's like, I mean, I almost have to just imply, I don't know, just to me, it's like Raubon is wrong. And I wonder if it's implied to be that, like, if the writers meant it, you know, for the audience to say, like, no, like, clearly Raubon doesn't actually understand, like, his own position. And there's my boy Pippin. Ehrenwald seems flustered. Something is amiss. I was just on my way to the Saltery. It's lucky I saw you. That took longer than I intended, but at least you know where I stand. Now that's settled. Ehrenwald, what news? We may have a problem, sir. A group of Ananta has arrived at the main gates, and I don't mean the Vera. These are Kalyana, the ones that summoned the Primal. They're insisting they be allowed to attend the council. Lise is trying to reason with them, but she may need help. And then they do summon her, don't they? Or summon Lakshmi, and then that's when Fordola comes in. And I think that's when the patch ends. An invitation was extended to all of the native beast tribes, but we assumed the Kalyana would refuse it out of hand. We had best go and see for ourselves. Pippin, take command of our forces and be ready for battle. Lavenza, you've dealt with these Kalyana before. I'd have you at my side. Yeah, I don't... Part of me wants to say that it's not... What happens is not necessarily of the Kalyana's design. But at this point, I don't know whose design it would be. Because right now we don't have any, like, immediate villains. You know, because Xenos is dead, but, you know, I guess in another body, finding another body or something. Varys, I don't know that he would really get involved with this. We'll find out. Lavenza, Raubon, gods, it's good to see you. Ah, the Slayer has come. We have not forgotten how you sinned against the Lady of Bliss, but we did not come here to shed blood. You claim to seek harmony with all who call Girabanya home. If this is truly your wish, you will welcome us as envoys of the Ananta. It is our wish, and you are welcome, but we cannot condone the summoning of primals. If you want to enter the palace, I must ask that you first surrender any crystal jewelry. You have my word that it will all be returned to you when the meeting is over. We will do as you ask, but you will not have our weapons. We are not so foolish as to place ourselves entirely at the mercy of our tormentors. I reckon that's the closest we're going to get to a compromise, and we will have people standing guard. Aye, let them keep their swords. Then we have an agreement. Lead the way to your meeting chamber. Why do I have the feeling we've welcomed a viper into our midst? Thank you for watching this video. If you enjoyed it, please don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. And if you want to join me live, the link to my Twitch is in the description down below. Thank you again for watching, and have a great one.